So usually if I ask somebody to put their hand on the keys for the first time, I would say more than 90% will come up like this. Okay, they will put one finger on every key. So there's something where we are drawn to do that, even when nobody's been telling them to do that. Even if it's the first time they put themselves on the key, very often they go like that. Then we also have books that will say to do that. So then that just heightens the effect of that. But what that does, and I'm going to go through each one of these movements and why it's not great. So what happens here is when we force all of the fingers to be on the keys like this, I have to curl up these fingers. And we're going to see in a minute why that's a bad thing. So curling in the Taubman world means that we are pulling back the fingers from this joint. So this is called curling. What it also does is it turns the wrist here into what we call twist. In the medical world, they call that ulnar deviation. The other thing that it makes us do is stretch, like that. So stretching, it means that we're using our separating muscles here of our fingers to get to the keys. This is how our fingers are naturally spaced. That's not how I am when I go one finger per key. So just by putting their hand on, they're in a bad situation. So I want to go over a little bit with you. This is also a little tricky online, so I hope you guys can participate with me. I want to have you just kind of pat your legs like a patty cake style, just natural pat like this. Okay, now I want you to curl your fingers like I showed you like this, and try to do the same thing. Go up and down on your leg. So I'm sure you can feel that there's a difference there. You know, usually right away people can feel that the entire arm is tightened up when they do that. So go back to the natural hand again, the patty cake hand like this. Okay, this time I want you to twist the hand like that and do the patty cake on your leg. So similarly, and it depends on how sensitive you are, but you will feel that there is greater tension running up the arm, and you may find a slight symptom over here as well. Okay, back to the natural one. Now I want you to stretch your fingers apart and do the... Okay, so again, you can feel the difference in your own arm about how, good that feels back here. So all of those three put a lot of tension into the system. Tension can slow us down. It can hurt us. There's lots of bad things about the tension. So we want to avoid those three things. So now in the example of 5 fingers, this is the same kind of idea. First of all, when we come to the key, we don't want to go like that, and we certainly don't want to play each note separately like that in an isolated way. If I come up to the key without stretching or curling or twisting, I would come up and look more like this. Okay, this is what my natural hand looks like. You can see that 5 is not even anywhere near the G. So I would play here. Now, how do I play my 2 without stretching or twisting or anything like that? I need to move this direction. So in Taubman world, we call that moving out. So I move out, and that brings me to this spot in the key without having to curl. I move out again on the 3rd finger. So notice how my fingers are not separating. I'm not getting into a stretched position. I'm staying aligned. There's no twisting. Then I would go in, and I would go in again. So the answer to doing 5 fingers in a healthy way is in the in and out, a little bit of walking hand and arm. But that way we avoid those curling, twisting, and stretching movements that would happen if I was over all 5 keys and trying to play like that in a very tense way.